I know you're angry. I know that you're frustrated. I know that you're sick and tired and you can't take it anymore. So you're going to go to your Facebook page. You're going to write a really angry comment on your liberal brother-in-law's page because that'll make a difference. Or maybe you'll get into a fight with your neighbor on the sideline of your kid's soccer game, and that'll make a difference, other than the fact that you'll break your little kid's heart because you didn't stop and watch all those 8-year-olds chasing the ball around the field and not really accomplishing much. Listen, I've got a better idea. How about you actually do something? Like get involved. Like, I don't know, run for office. That's what Kira Davis did. She's editor-at-large at redstate.com, part of the Town Hall Media empire, and she joins us now. Kira, I still can't believe you did this. You had a great career going. You're a writer at Red State. You're a TV personality. You're a podcaster, and you had enough. You're running for school board.
I can't believe I did this either. And I say that to myself every single day. I can't believe I did this. No, I was chatting with somebody recently who's in local politics, and I was saying, wow, this is a lot. Running for office is a lot of work. And I can't believe that I did this. I don't think I put enough thought into it before I did it. And she said, but doing something meaningful often just takes 10 seconds of courage. And that's what happened to me. You know, my school board seat was open, and I was just devastated by what's been going on with the COVID mandates. I mean, you and I have been talking about this for 2 years now, Larry. Mm-hmm. And I watched my son not have the privilege of graduating from his high school in 2020 because that year was just ripped away from him, not because of COVID, but because of overreaching bureaucrats. And then I got to look at what was in the classroom and yada, yada, yada. We don't need to go over all the ugly details. You and I both know, and your viewers know, what's going on in the classroom. And I finally said, I've had enough. And what can I do? I write, I go to protests, I keep up with the news, but I need to make change on our local school board because it was our school board that was keeping schools closed, authorizing mandates. And so my seat came open and I said, you know what? I need to make sure there's someone on my school board who thinks like me. And the only person I can guarantee who thinks like me is me. So here I am, Kira Davis for school board, Capistrano Unified School District.
That's Orange County, California, but anybody around the country can support your cause, and it's a good one. And so school board is so important here, but it's funny. I hear so often from school board members that have been sort of in the focus right now of all of these horrific decisions, shutting down the schools, masking in schools, the curriculum, CRT, transgender policies. They often say, hey, sure, we're school board members, but our hands are tied. The state mandates this stuff, we just do it. It's like what's the point of having a school board if all they're going to do is affirm what the governor tells them they're supposed to do? Is that really the case, or are you going to actually make a difference here?
No, that's not the case. But of course, that's what we've been seeing all throughout COVID, right? Oh, it's my hands are tied. We just follow the recommendations of the CDC, and then the CDC says, oh, we just leave it up to the states and the locals to handle it. Listen, one of the most powerful and influential citizen boards in your governance, wherever you live, is your school board.
Yeah.
Your school board actually has the most independence of any government agency in existence. It is the model of local control, even in a state like California, where we do have a lot of government levers, you know, pulling all the time. But the school board can basically make their own rules. There are things like state law to contend with, of course. The California has, as you know, Larry, you were one of the big people who was giving me a chance to talk about this. We have this egregious sex ed curriculum that we fought against for years, and finally it came down. That's at the state level. There's certain requirements that they want you to have in your curriculum. However, if you have a board that is leaning more towards parents or common sense, you can choose the curriculum. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have to be the filth that the state tries to shove into the classrooms. It can be more scientific, data-based, biology-based curriculum. Right. That's just one example of what we can do, Larry.
Yeah.
Did you know that your local school board actually has the power to hire and fire almost all of your administrative staff?
Right. It's so ridiculous, Carrie, because you always hear these school board members and mayors and county supervisors and real estate agents for that matter. Oh, you live in a really good school district. Oh, the schools in that district are really good. Schools over there aren't really good. Well, if we're all following the same rules laid out by the state and we have no choice, then what makes one district better than the other? Obviously, some pretty good choices are being made. Now, most of us think about school board and we think that the teachers union has huge influence, huge money, huge organization skills, and it's very hard for anyone who doesn't do what they say to crack into that body. You've been at this for several months now. Have you faced that? Have you seen in your opposition some pretty formidable forces coming after you?
Absolutely. The unions are flush with cash. It's been amazing. I'm starting to get their mailers, Larry, and their mailers are like these trifold, this big, a whole big diatribe of, oh, this person went to day camp when he was 5 years old at this like it's amazing what they can do. But also they have the manpower. So that's the money, I think, that can be combated with passion and perseverance, which is what I'm doing with my grassroots campaign. But the manpower is what is really impressive with the unions, and they use that manpower to bully. So, for instance, they'll send somebody out late at night to steal my signs, even out of people's yards.
Jeez.
Because they know that I don't have the budget to constantly be replacing signs. They were able to actually completely redo my opponent's yard signs halfway through the campaign to match mine, because his looked very dark and dreary, and when mine came out, you can see them behind me, they were bright, and so they didn't like that, so they recalled all of his signs and did a completely new order. I mean, that might be $10,000 to $20,000 in some cases to do that. And the other thing that they're doing that I find particularly creepy is they follow me. I have union trackers who follow me every single day wherever I go, particularly if I announce an event. I've learned how to take photos of the people who are around me.
Wow.
And I don't know what I'll use them for, but I just like to know, to have on record who is with me. But they do follow me, and they try to lodge complaints where I am, so people will kick me out of their establishments if I happen to be campaigning nearby. They're very vicious. That.
Super creepy stuff. And frankly, the picture you paint, a lot of people probably watching this now, Carrie, they're thinking, it's just the school board. I mean, why would they have to spend all that money and all that time and all those resources just for a school board seat? But that tells you something, doesn't it? How critically important it is.
If someone is willing to go to those lengths to take a seat on your child's school board, it must make you wonder why that seat is so important. But of course, Larry, we know, because we've been reporting on this. You talk about it every day. We know that the unions and bureaucrats have a vested interest in our children. They have a vested interest in separating us from our children. During COVID, the only thing that stood between complete totalitarian control and our children were us, parents.
Yep, that's right.
We were the ones who stepped up, and then when we saw what we didn't like, we made some noise.
That's why they sicked the FBI after us. That's why they want us silenced, and they try to call us names. But Kira Davis, your entire career, and as long as I've known you, 12, 13 years now, I think, you don't shrink away at being called a name. I'm so proud of you for this run. You've got 2 weeks left, and you're making a difference. It's so great. Thank you. I mean, we've always known from your great work at Red State how incredible you are, but now we see you actually walk the walk. Good luck with the campaign, and we'll talk to you after you win.
Great. Thanks, Larry.
More to come on O'Connor Tonight.